So just allowing yourself to settle into the energy and the climate that we are in. I'm going to stay seated and just kind of talk for a little bit, but finding yourself in a Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining. I like to prop my blocks underneath my knees just to allow the hips to open in a more relaxed and gentle way. So we're moving into this season of Cancer. So much to talk about today. It's so much to celebrate. It's Father's Day. It is the beginning of the summer season. It's the beginning of the sign of Cancer. And it is a time where it is the longest day of the year as in terms of daylight. A summer solstice. We are in the middle of eclipse season. We have 5 different planets that are retrograde, AKA it's a lot. And so we're just starting by easing in, bringing your right hand to your stomach and your left hand to your heart. I'm just starting from a soul-centered place. Feeling your heart beating, feeling your rhythm, your vibration, regardless of what is going on around us. We have no control over anything externally. But what we do have control over is our internal landscape, that which is within. Cancer is the sign of the crowd. It is the sign of the mother, the maternal instincts. It is where the home is our haven. We are getting in touch with our emotions. It's about security, about protection, memories from the past, lineage, ancestry. So while there's so much going on in the outside world, Cancer season asks us to get in touch with our internal world. How do we feel amidst this collective macro time of unparalleled events? How can we stay centered in a time of massive change and growth? Gently start to remove your blocks. And find your way, hugging your knees into your chest. So reclining down on your back, hugging your knees in, and just beginning to embrace yourself in your fullness. Wrapping your arms around and just embracing, connecting inward. Bringing your arms out like wings, let the knees gently drape over to the left and bring your gaze over to the right. Starting with a simple twist to begin. We start close to the earth out of respect for the body and to make sure that we feel safe and secure, rooted in our foundation. Bring it back through your center and let the knees fall over in the opposite direction. Cancer is that nurturing energy, and as yogis, we know that everything starts with the self. Everything starts with us. So it is, while Cancer is learning to nurture and love and tend to others, first and foremost, we do that to ourselves, showing us that love that we crave from others. Bring it back through your center and hug your right knee in. Just plant your left foot on the earth. Grab the outer blade of that right foot and find like a half happy baby. So just bringing your right knee kind of in towards your right shoulder, flexing through the foot, and then extend it on up towards the ceiling. Interlace the fingers behind the belly of the hamstring, and then bend the knee and inhale, straighten. Flex and point through the foot. Maybe scale the leg, crawl it on up, stretching through your hamstrings. And then lowering it on down, bring your right ankle over that left thigh. And bring the bind, interlacing the fingers, bring the shape closer to you. And find that figure 4 stretch. Taking this bind with our hands interlacing, and the animal archetype of the Cancer sign is the crab. And one of the most notable features of the crab is its pinchers. So working with interlacing our pinchers today, our bind, and kind of invoking the animal characteristics of the crab itself. Releasing your crab claws and bring your shape, let the knees gently drape over to the right. Maybe your arms out like wings, and just breathe into that shape. Opening through that left side body, opening through the hips where we carry that deep sentiment or emotion. Gently bring it back through center, and then let the right foot plant and just take the shape in the opposite direction. And breathe into it. Bring it back through your center, and then gently just switch legs. Right foot plants. And bring your left crab claw to your left foot. And then kind of just hug it in towards your left shoulder. Opening through that hip, through the inner thigh, through the groin. And then gently extend it on up. Maybe interlace the crab claws behind your hamstrings, straighten and bend the knee. And then maybe scale the leg, point and flex, maybe nose to the knee. Breathe in. Breathing out. Left ankle over that right thigh, and take the bind with your crab claws behind the right hamstring, and find that reclining figure 4 stretch. Maybe give it a little rock side to side. Breathe in. Breathing out, release the bind. Let the shape drape over to the left. Feeling that twist ringing out. And just allowing yourself to soften and surrender into the shape. Bring it back through your center, planting that left foot on the earth, and take it in the opposite direction. Bring it back through your center. Wrap your arms around the legs. Then begin to rock it, roll it front to back. And take a few of these rocks. And eventually find your way easy Sukhasana, seated pose on the mat. I'm gonna face you, but just stay as you are. Bring your right crab claw over to your right hip and start to take a side bend over to your right. Now anchor down into that left hip and find that left side body opening. Breathe in. Breathing out, left crab claw goes to that right knee and take a side bend laterally to the other side. Sitting up long and tall through the spine, plant the right crab claw behind you, right shoulder back, and just gaze over. Bring it back through your center and take it on the other side, left down, right arm reaches. Maybe the forearm down, maybe away from the hip. Just feel that sensation in that right side body. Just gently waking up. Bringing the right crab claw to that left knee and take the side bend to the other side. Nurturing the connection that we have with ourselves during this time of change. Inhale back through center, take that twist, plant the hand behind you, sit up tall. And then bring your left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. And find stillness in a moment of change. Inhale, bring it back through your center. Arms reach on up. And then exhale, gently forward fold. And just allow your head and neck to hang. Folding into it. Breathing in. And breathing out. Gently coming on up, bringing your crab claws onto your knees, finding a cat-cow expression and seated. So begin to lift the head and chest, maybe tilt the head back, and then exhale, round, tuck the tail, pull the navel, chin down towards the chest. Puff the chest up, draw the shoulder blades together, lift the gaze. And then exhale, round, tuck the tail. And just start to move with this. A moving cat-cow to bring extension and flexion through the spine. And maybe you start to circle it out. Maybe bringing the chest forward to the right, all the way back to the left, and then out in front. Starting to move in this circular direction or in that cat-cow variation. Starting to move intuitively to what feels right to you. Taking about 5 more breaths here to feel your way. If you're moving in one direction, then start to move in the other. So this new moon in Cancer. New moons occur at the time when the moon and the sun are in the exact same sign. So the moon is hidden. And it is dark in the night sky. Gently planting the palms out in front, bringing your knees below your hips, and find your way one more full cat-cow from a normal, or whatever normal means. Palms plant, knees below the hips, one cat-cow. Lift the gaze, drop the belly, exhale, round. Then level out through the hips. Bring your right foot out to the side at 3 o'clock. Inhale, peel the right arm up. And then exhale, thread the needle halfway. Sweep it through and inhale, reach it back on up and lean back. And this time, thread it all the way. Right ear goes down to the earth. Left arm around the low back, opening through the left shoulder. Finding maybe that crab claw, left hand to your right hip. Right leg still extended if it feels okay for you. Breathe in. And breathing out. Exhale, left hand plants. Right arm reaches on up. Lower it on down. Sink your hips back to meet your heel. Kind of in a crab-like shape. 3 breaths here. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then bring it back on up, switching sides, right knee down to the earth, left foot out at 9 o'clock. Peel the left arm reaches and thread it underneath. Inhale, pick it back on up. And exhale, now thread it all the way, left ear down, right arm around the low back. And feel that opening. Exhale, right hand presses down to the earth, left arm reaches. Left leg stays as it is, crab claw goes down, hips sink back to your heels. And maybe extend the crab claws forward and create that half crab shape. Softening in. And then bring it back on up. Knee goes down and find your way. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And begin to pedal it out through the feet. So this new moon in our Cancer season. Breathing in, breathing out, pedal it out, get acclimated upside down. Maybe walk the crab claws back to your feet. Bend the knees deeply, right to the left elbow, left to the right elbow, and allow it to sway. New moons are a time of beginning, a time of planting seeds, a time of starting something anew. And in the midst of changing seasons, we find our way into a completely new element. Left goes down, right arm reaches on up. Maybe a little bend in that left knee, and peel the right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, right down, left arm reaches. A little bend in that right knee. Breathe in. Breathing out, left hand goes down. Crawl it all the way, downward facing dog. And take 5 breaths here. So we found our way moving from the air element of Gemini season, where there's so much external focus, so many distractions around us, so much stimulation, so many things going on, things starting to slowly open back up, lots of change, lots of reconnecting with community. The Cancer is the water element that asks us to reconnect inward. Come all the way up to the tip toes, put a bend in the knees, take a peek forward. Gently step it, walk it, float it, top of the mat we go. And once you get there, inhale, come up halfway, create that flat back. And then exhale, forward fold. Press down through the feet and slowly roll on up 1 vertebra at a time. Stacking, reaching the arms up and overhead. And then bring everything to your heart center and close the eyes. Feel that your heart is beating. Feel that connection that we are nurturing with ourselves. Regardless of what is going on around, how can we bring the focus inward to listen to our inner wisdom? How can we reconnect to the instincts that we have, the intuition, that nurturing aspect that maybe we seek outside of ourselves. But we learn to nurture the connection with our internal landscape and deepen the connection with ourselves in times of immense change. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. And bring your right hand to your left wrist and take a side bend over to your right. Anchor down into your left foot. And then inhale back through your center, grow tall. Right hand to your left hand to your right wrist. Side bend in the opposite direction. Back through your center, stand up tall. Arms out to your sides, lift the chest and heart up. Reach it back on up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway for length. Exhale, plant the palms, step the left foot to the back of the mat, and bring the left knee down to the earth. Bring your hands to your right quad, and press away. And lift the spine, lift the torso on up. Breathe in. And breathe out, reach the arms on up. Lift the gaze, draw the elbows down by your sides, press your heart forward. Maybe give your little crab claws a pinch. And then reach it back on up. Bring your right hand to the inner part of that right foot and reach the left arm up and overhead. Maybe gazing towards the sky or maybe down at your paw. Breathe in. And then tip it on up, grounded reverse warrior. So right arm reaches up, left hand to that left, maybe that calf or the hamstring, and reach it back. Exhale, lower both hands down to the earth. Sit the hips back above that left knee and flex through that right foot. Half splits, squaring the hips. Breathing in. Breathing out, hinge it forward, plant the palms, tuck the left toes, step your right foot back to meet your left. Find your high push-up, high plank. And then just lift back up, downward facing dog. And pedal it out. Lifting your right foot, lifting the left, and just allow yourself to get acclimated. Being upside down, seeing the world from a different point of view. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come up to the tip toes. And then bend the knees. Step it, walk it, or float it top of the mat. We go. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Come all the way up to standing. Reach it, lift it, open. Bring your hands back behind the head. Dip your right elbow down, left elbow up. Inhale back through center. Left elbow down, right elbow up. Inhale back through center. Tip it on back. And exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale halfway for length. Plant the palms, step the right foot to the back of the mat. Knee goes down to the earth. And just bring your crab claws to your left quad. And press it away. Finding opposition, finding stillness. Inhale, reach it on up. Breathe in. Opening, lifting through the side bodies, softening into it. And then bring your left hand down, right arm reaches, and lean back. Pressing down, reaching on up. And then just tip it, reverse the motion, left arm up, right hand down. Inhale. And exhale, lower the hands down. Sit the hips back above that right knee, flexing through that left foot. Breathe in. And breathe out. Plant the palms top of the mat, tuck the back toes, left foot steps back. High push-up, high plank. You can always bring the knees down. And then lift the hips back up, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. We'll take it one more lap around. And then we'll bring it back down. To the tip toes. Bending the knees, gently stepping it, walking it top of the mat. Inhale, halfway up for length. Exhale, forward fold. Come all the way up to standing, circle it on up. And this time take a twist, left arm forward, right arm back. Back through your center to the other side. Back through your center, tip it on back. Exhale, forward fold. Lengthen halfway. Plant the palms, left foot steps back. Knee to the earth, hands to your quad, and press away. Reach it on up. Exhale, right hand down, left arm up, lean back. Maybe even closing the eyes as you move. Imagining yourself moving through water, right arm up, left hand down. Kind of navigating our way through the flow. Swimming both hands down, sink the hips back above that left knee. Flex through the right foot. And maybe fold over. Crawl it forward, plant it down, step the right foot back to meet your left. Maybe a few breaths here. And then lift the hips back up, downward facing dog. One more side to go, and then we'll bring it down. Eventually step it, walk it, float it, or just make your way. Inhale, find some length. Exhale, fold and find some depth. Press down, slowly roll on up. Whatever variation you like, a previous one or maybe something different. Inhale, back through center. To the other side. Moving, breathing, reaching. Exhale, hinge and fold, finding that flow. Inhale, halfway. Plant it down, left foot back, or right foot. I get all excited. Breathe in. Hands to the quad and lift the torso up. Reach the arms, breathe in. Left hand down first. Lean back into it. And then tip it on up. Swim your way. Lower it down. Sink the hips back above that right knee. Flex through the foot. Maybe hinge it back and forth. And then crawl your way, plant the palms, left foot steps back. High push-up, high plank. And then bring your knees down to the earth. Sink the hips back to meet your heels. And find your way, child's pose. Breathing in. And maybe breathing out through the mouth. Finding about 10 breaths here just to soften in. So speaking back to the new moon, a time where we are changing zodiac signs, changing elements, a very different shift of energy. And happening all at once in this big culmination. There's been lots of buildup up to this. We are in the middle of eclipse season, and normally eclipses come in pairs. A solar eclipse, which happens on a new moon, and a lunar eclipse, which happens on a full moon. And normally there are just two, but we got lucky this year and there are three. This is pretty rare. It happens about once every 9-ish, or every so often. The next one is happening in 2029. So, and eclipses are a time where there's a lot of talk in astrology whether things are destined or whether we have free will, and every astrologer will have different perspectives. But eclipses, the things that occur during eclipse season are fated. Eclipses speed up time. They propel things into motion, and it's said that when things occur during eclipse season, they were always going to happen. It can be a time of immense change. Maybe it's a lot of heightened energy, and especially with this happening on the summer solstice, the very first day of Cancer season, there's a lot of change going on a macro level as well as a micro level. So it's an immense shift in a way of like a changing of the guards. So we find ourselves at the height of summer, but also when summer is so much focused on a time where we can be outside and be outdoors, we find our way bringing our focus back to our emotions and our internal world. So we'll find a little flow to kind of embody some of the elements of Cancer, of the season. And so once you're ready, find your way to your downward facing dog. We'll build a little flow together. We'll take it on the right, on the left, add a little bit on, and we'll bring it down to the earth. Once you're ready, inhale, right leg lifts. Bend it, open it, yawn through the hip. Maybe a little circle through your ankle, through your knee, through your hip. And then lift it on up. Lightly step it up in between the hands, top of the mat. Low runner's lunge. Ground and pivot through that back heel. And inhale, reach the arms on up, warrior one. Getting a firm foundation, rooted in the earth below, reach it on up. And then exhale, interlace the fingers, your crab claws behind the low back, finding that bind, lifting up through the heart. And exhale, hinge it on forward, humble warrior. Let the head and neck hang, right shoulder kind of resting inside of that knee. Breathe in. And breathing out. Keeping the bind with your crab claws. Start to lean forward. And just reach the arms back behind you. Pivoting onto the ball of that back foot. And slowly start to fly your way up into your airplane pose. Flexing back through that foot, lengthening through the crown of the head. Breathing in. And breathing out. Stepping the left foot to meet the right, keeping the bind with your claws behind. Lifting the gaze all the way up, shoulder blades draw together. And then exhale, gently hinge and forward fold. Keeping the bind behind you, letting the Chest open, letting the arms just kind of let gravity do its thing, and breathe in. Breathing out. Exhale, releasing that. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Plant the palm, step the left foot to the back. Ground through the back heel, open it up, warrior two. Reach the arms away, draw the shoulder blades together. And start to reach a little bit further back behind you, reaching for the past, reaching out in front of you for something that has not happened yet. And then bring your torso back through your center. Rooted in this moment, feeling the presence. Breathe in. Breathing out, right forearm drapes over that right quad, left arm reaches. And finding your extended side angle. Option if you would like to explore the bind with your little crowd claws. Left arm reaches back behind you and maybe just start there. Maybe lifting the gaze. Option if you would like to reach the right hand back and see if there's a connection. Lifting through your left ribs. Breathing in. Breathing out, releasing that bind. Keep the bend in the right knee and just tip the right palm up, reverse warrior. Right knee towards that right side of the room. Opening, breathing. And breathing out, bringing both hands down to the earth. Shimmy that right foot over to the right. And bring both hands down inside of that right foot. And find your way into lizard dragon pose. And just allow the hips to sink in, maybe closing the eyes. So water is the element of tuning into how we feel. Listening to the sensitivities, listening to the inner wisdom, the things that our body is telling us, listening to that voice within, listening to those gut instincts. Bringing your right crowd claw to the inner thigh and gaze over that right shoulder. Breathe in and breathing out. Learning to listen to the body and notice, how does it feel? Breathe in. Breathing out. Tucking through the back toes. And start to straighten the right leg to your degree. You can keep the hands both inside of the right foot, or maybe bring one to the outside, a long pyramid pose. So where Gemini is so externally focused and curious about what is going on around, Cancer asks us to tune in and learn to listen. And a curious connection is that the letters that are in the word listen are the same when you rearrange the word silent. So when we close our eyes, there is an entire world within. And we learn to explore what is below the surface. Bend the right knee, walk the hands to the inside, take it to the length of the mat, wide leg forward fold. And just let the head and neck hang. Walk the hands, maybe the crab claws out in front of you, and then just press the chest forward and open. It's less about what it looks like, but how does it feel? Cancer walks into a room and can immediately feel the energy around. It is attuned to its sensitivities. Walk the hands back in. Skandasana over to the right. Bend the right knee, left toes lift. Very tuned into the emotions of others. Bend the left knee, lift the right toes. Crawl it back, snake it over to the right foot. Runner's lunge, and then step the right foot back to meet the left. High push up, high plank. Breathe in. Breathing out, then lower all the way down to your bellies. And bring the hands back by your hips. Let the head turn in one direction. And feel that your heart is beating. And in this moment of stillness, start to observe and notice any changes as have occurred throughout the practice. Taking that physical, mental, emotional scan, how are we feeling? Learning to listen to what the body is telling us. And moving forward with our emotional body. Bring the forehead back to neutral. And press your way up to Sphinx pose. Palms pressing. Shoulders above your elbows, engaging your quads, pressing down into the earth, opening through the shoulder blades. And just closing the eyes. Attuning to the senses within. The senses around us to see how we're feeling. But also tuning into the world behind the eyes and that which is beyond. Gently lower it on down. Press your hips to your heels, child's pose. Take a full breath here. And a full breath out. And finding your way back, downward facing dog. Back to our home base pose. Cancer is the home body, and attuning to the security, left leg lifting. Circling out through the ankle, through the knee, through the hip, lubricating the joints. Feeling safe, feeling rooted. And gently step it all the way up behind that left wrist. Ground through the back heel, come on up, warrior one. So every posture starts from the ground and then we work our way up. A firm foundation, safety, the four walls, security. Wanting to feel like we are comfortable with where we are, interlacing the hands behind the low back. Draw the knuckles down towards the earth, lift the gaze, and then exhale, forward fold. Cancers are creatures of comfort. So kind of finding comfort in the simple things, in security in our foundation. Inhale, slowly come on up, halfway. And just reach the fingertips away, torso kind of parallel down to the earth. Breathing in, lifting through that back heel, and then gently taking flight into your airplane. Beautiful. Balancing on that one leg, breathing in. Shoulder blades draw together, opening through the front. And then exhale, gently planting the right foot next to meet the left. Lift the gaze, draw the shoulders towards one another, lifting on up. And then exhale, gently forward fold. Beautiful. Gently, slowly release that. Lengthen halfway. Step the right foot to the back and find your way into your warrior two. Reaching long through the fingertips. Reach a little bit further forward and reaching back. And then just settling into right here. Breathing in. And breathing out, left forearm over that left quad, right arm reaches. Opening on up. Option to take the bind, right pincher behind you. Maybe just stay right there. Maybe the left reaches behind and underneath. Lifting through the gaze, opening, rolling that right shoulder opening. Lifting through your right ribs. Releasing that slowly. Tip the left palm up, right hand down. Keep bending that knee, breathing. And then exhale gently, bringing both hands down. And starting to straighten that left leg. Long pyramid pose. Breathing in. And breathing out. Bringing that right knee down. And finding your way into your lizard dragon. And just maybe rotating that left knee out, then maybe closing it in. Maybe left hand to the inner thigh, rolling that left shoulder open. Pressing the inner thigh against the hand. Breathing in. Breathing out. Bringing both hands down, tuck the back toes. Find your way into your wide leg fold. Maybe taking that deep fold. Walking the hands out in front. And just attuning to the sensitivities of the body. Noticing the feelings that arise, and water just allows ourselves to be immersed in everything that is around us. So not shutting that off, but learning to listen, learning to observe. Inhale, slowly coming on up. Skandasana to your right side. Bend the right knee, left toes lift. And then sneak it on like you're moving through water. Left knee bends, right toes lift. Bring it back to the top of the mat. Plant the palm, step the left foot back to meet your right. And find your high push-up, high plank. Breathing in. Breathing out, slowly lowering it all the way down onto the earth. And find your way. Palms plant back behind you. Hands down long by your sides. Pressing into the 10 toenails, the tops of the feet, the quads. And then lift the upper body up. So pressing the lower body into the earth, lift through the back side of the body. Breathing in. And breathing out, gently lower it all the way down onto the earth. This time, reaching the arms out in front. Legs and arms lifting, finding your way. And kind of swimming on out. Left leg, right leg lifts. Left arm, right leg. Rights and lefts. Lefts and rights. Then lift both on up. Exhale, gently lower it on down. Last time around, bending the knees, reaching the arms back for the ankles, and then slowly lift on up. Maybe pressing up through the feet, bending the knees. Lift up one more breath. And then exhale, gently melt all the way down to the earth. Bringing your hands underneath your forehead. And just allow the forehead to rest on the backs of your hands. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Press yourself up, bring your hips to your heels. Find your way, child's pose. Take one full cycle of breath here. We'll take it one more on close to the earth, one more lap around, then we'll bring it all the way back. Slowly make your way up and find your way to your seated pose. I'm going to face you. You can just facing the front of the mat. Take your time to get there. And start to bring both feet out in front of you. Straight leg forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms on up. And then exhale, fold to your degree. So Cancer, the sign, is also in its natural rulership in its moon, because the sign of Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon represents how we respond, our emotions, our sensitivities, our behaviors, our memories, our instincts, our conditioning. How we want to feel loved, how we want to feel safe, how we connect with others, and how we connect with ourselves. Inhale, slowly coming on up. Bringing your right leg out in front, left foot to the inner thigh, finding your way, Janu Sirsasana, letter A. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. And exhale, fold over that right leg. So with the moon in Cancer, in its natural rulership, it asks us, what do we need to feel safe? What are our instincts that we are listening to, or are there instincts that we have that we are choosing to ignore? What are our patterns? Inhale, slowly coming on up. Bringing your right hand to that left knee. Left hand plants back behind you, sitting up long and tall. Lengthen to the crown of the head. And exhale, twist towards the back of the room. And left arm reaches up and overhead and finds that bind over to that right foot. If that works for you. Inhale back through center. Planting that left foot, bringing both hands to that right foot and finding your way into that heron pose. So with this time of immense change around us, how can we take care of ourselves? What are the things that we have been neglecting? What are the things that further we can do to enhance the connection we have with ourselves? One more full deep breath. And gently, slowly release that. Bring both soles of the feet to connect. You can bring the feet a little bit further away or a little bit closer in. Sit up long and tall. And then exhale, gently fold forward. We know that through our yoga practice, everything starts with the self. Like we said, not only is this a new moon and eclipse season, but 5 different planets in the solar system are in retrograde, which means it's like an optical illusion. They are moving backwards. About 5 more breaths here. The planets that most of us have heard of, there's this thing called Mercury retrograde. And Mercury rules communication. It's how we express ourselves and how we think. Our intellectual body. And when Mercury goes retrograde, it's a time to reflect and reassess. Time to tie up loose ends, to do the things that we've been avoiding. Inhale, slowly come on up. Find your way, bringing your right knee to the top corner of the mat. Left leg goes long behind you. Walking your hands maybe onto your right shin. Lifting the gaze. And then exhale, gently folding forward into your pigeon on your right. Not only do we have Mercury in retrograde, but Venus has been there as well for a little bit. Venus is how we want to be loved and how we love others. It is the planet of abundance, of creativity, of our values. Asking us, what do we truly value? What makes us feel loved? What makes us feel nurtured? And it's a time to just overall reflect, to remember, to reassess, kind of have some nostalgia. Oftentimes, maybe reaching out to people from the past seems like something that we want to do to reconnect to other parts of ourselves through different periods of our lives, through different facets. So there's 3 other planets retrograde, but just focusing on the 2 inner ones. How we communicate with Mercury and with Venus, what we value. Maybe it's a good time to reflect on how we communicate to those who we love, those who we are around, what we need most. What are our values? And are our values something that we are always entertaining? Are we always in connection with them? Or do the things that we value sometimes get pushed by the wayside? 2 more breaths. And once you are done, slowly pressing on up. I realize I made this playlist a little bit long, so if you don't mind, I'm going to say to skip through to the song quietly, the skipping 2 songs, and finding your way back. Finding Janu Sirsasana on the other side. Moving your way, left foot to the inner thigh, right leg long out in front of you. And sitting up long and tall. Reaching both arms up and overhead. Exhale, gently folding over that right leg. Maybe left hand to the outer blade of that foot. And just folding. A time to get curious. A time to reconnect with ourselves in a truly intimate way. Do we actively express and communicate our values so that we feel heard, so that we feel seen? Are our old values still in line with our new? Reassessing, reevaluating what we want. Are we actively communicating our needs? And in order to do all of that, it takes getting in touch with how we feel our deepest emotions, connecting with ourselves. Inhale, slowly coming on up. Taking that twist, reaching it back behind you, planting the hands. I think I must get you know. Breathing in, taking that twist, planting it behind you over the knee. And then once it feels ready, reaching the arm up and overhead, maybe taking that bind. Inhale, slowly coming on up. Finding your heron pose on the other side. Taking the outer blades of the feet with the hands. Flexing through the foot, pointing. Taking your time, moving into it at your pace. You can plant the foot or keep the knee out to the side. Breathing in. And breathing out. Finding your way to another forward fold of your choice. We did butterfly before, maybe a wide leg forward fold this time. Walking the muscles away. Flexing through the feet, long through the spine. And then exhale, gently forward, fold it in. So in order to be able to articulate our needs, our values, in order to express ourselves and communicate with those around us. It first takes getting clear on how we feel. With this collective intensity, a time of immense change. The astrology of 2020 is unparalleled, unprecedented, wild, apeshit, whatever you want to call it. Astrologers have been looking to this year for decades, if not longer. And so in this time of wild, immense change, on a macro level, also feeling that massive wild change, most likely on a micro level. Walking our hands in and finding our way onto pigeon on the other side. On the left, bringing your right leg long behind you. Sitting up long and tall. So left knee forward, I think, right leg long behind. And then exhale, gently forward fold. About 5 more breaths here. So this new moon in Cancer asks us to first get clear on, through the midst of change, cutting to the heart of it. Cutting through all of the external change, the massive shifts around, the external distractions. And tuning into the heartbeat, the rhythm of our soul's tune, the emotions, the sentiments, getting into the deepest feels at the center of our being. How is it that we're feeling, what we are feeling, and where is this derived from? Is this energy our own? What practices do we find security in? What do we find ourselves gravitating back to? What feels safe within ourselves? Inhale, slowly coming slowly back on up. And once you find your way there, swinging both legs out in front, reaching the arms out in front of you. And then slowly lowering down onto your backs, one vertebra at a time. Taking that full body stretch, reaching the arms overhead. Long through the fingers, long through the toes, and exhale, hug it all in. The knees pull into the chest. Finding your way to that happy baby. Right hand to the outer blade of that right foot, left hand to the outer blade of the left. Pressing the low back into the earth, pressing the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. And giving it that little rock side to side. Bringing your arms out like wings, letting the knees gently drape over to the left, bringing your gaze over to the right. Allowing the body to melt into the earth and feel held by Mother Earth. Inhale back through center, exhale, take it over in the opposite direction, gazing away. Bring it back through your center. And gently bring your right foot to the right corner of the mat, left foot down to the corner of the left. If you like blocks underneath your knees, option to do that. And bringing your hands down long by your sides. Cancer being the first water sign of the zodiac, it invites us into our internal world. Cancer reminds us that it is safe to feel. It is safe to navigate through our internal landscape, to reconnect to the heart of the matter. Open to receive, open to experience. It is safe to navigate our emotions. Learning to listen. We come to our mats to move and breathe and release maybe some physical tension. And once the body starts to feel more at ease, and the body quiets down, then we can slowly start to calm the fluctuations of the mind. And once we can soften around the thoughts, when the body is still, the mind is still. That is when the soul can speak. Getting to the heart of our desires. What is it that we wish to cultivate, that we wish to bring in? Our deepest desires, our deepest yearnings, our longings. Realizing that it is safe to feel. And just listen. Without opening up your eyes, start to breathe in a little bit deeper and breathe out a little bit longer. The gentle, slow, subtle movements integrate back in, realizing that it is safe to feel. That this home, this sense of belonging, this sentiment, this deep sense of inner knowing that we crave, maybe outside of ourselves, is already within. The sense of security, this feeling of homecoming, as a way of just coming back to ourselves. The wrists, the ankles, maybe the head from side to side. Feeling your way back in. Maybe a full body stretch, followed by a deep hug in. Rolling onto your favorite side, the right or the left, the sun or the moon, the giving or the receiving. Then make your way up through center. Easy Sukhasana, seated pose. Top of the mat with the eyes still closed. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, reaching for something beyond. And bring all of that back to your heart center as you gently bow and honor everything that exists within you. Your love, your light, your own unique vibration, and your darkness. That which exists deep within the center of your being, of your heart, that is always there. Bringing your thumbs to your third eye center and gently folding forward to seal your practice. Namaste.